Oh, hello there, Site-42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site-42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 9.5 months and counting, because the daily stream streak remains strong, I am here to open my office door to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of our purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 hours, maybe a little longer if we're feeling zesty. We'll see how we go today. But before I begin with any standard stream subjects, let me begin with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Zenith, congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment Team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Meanwhile, alongside you, Scarlet Fox, 369 Destroyer, Lil Ghost, Puppet Boy, Philip November, Night Synth Skyro, Amber, Dr. Frogman. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members of Site-42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Meanwhile, interns Gonzalez, Matthew, Nomad, Coffee and D&D, and Dr. Singer, congratulations on being punctual to today's stream, and thank you for being here today, just for being you. Now, our final piece of housekeeping before we get into the standard stream subject. This stream is sponsored. It is sponsored by us ourselves here at Site-42. We have some new Site-42 merch on the docket. This is the Reservoir Dogs t-shirt. The famous Reservoir Dogs pose, but as performed by prominent, iconically designed members of the SCP Foundation staff. So whether you have Dr. Clef, Dr. Crow, Dr. Sherman, Dr. Sumerian, Dr. Kandraki, or Dr. Weddle as your favorite SCP Foundation researcher, you now have the shirt available to yourself. It is currently located in the link that Desk is sharing in the chat, as well as available at the pinned chat link or our description link. Reservoir Docs, commissioned by myself from Jade PNG, prominent SCP artist, and helped out by our friends at the scpstore.org. Thank you for supporting ourselves as well as other SCP content creators for our mission to bring better merch than just, another SCP logo into the mix. Ain't even got Talaran. You know, Dr. Frogman, Talaran was possibly on the docket. But just like Dr. Gears, I think the iconicism of Researcher Talaran, I don't think there's a set design that would really speak to that. The way, Sumerian, yellow suit and burns. Kandraki, green shirt butterflies. Dr. Sherman, Hawaiian shirt pen. All these sort of iconicisms that I don't believe Talaran has as much, except for maybe the scars, and the scars are pretty minimal overall. Not to denote, not to play down my love of Researcher Talaran, as well as SCP-3999. And in fact, I just got a message this morning from editor of our channel, Synthetic Alien, an SCP content creator in his own right. Years ago, he asked for me to make a cameo in his live-action SCP-3999 experimental short film. The help in question, the cameo, was using some of my recording of the 3999 document as creepy background vocals. But apparently, that video has seen a large boost in views recently. So if you're one of the people who went to go see Synthetic Alien's live-action short film of SCP-3999, good on you for supporting some underrated SCP Foundation content here on YouTube. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some Cracker Jacks on your way past the commissary. And you said, Jesus loves you. Some of the SCP Foundation contained Jesuses are better to be loved by than others. For instance, being loved by SCP-029-J, codename Uber Driver Jesus, you're going to get to ride around in that sweet ride. Nobody's mad about that. But Jesus, I don't know, a little stringy in some ways. Dr. Frogman, in case you're not familiar, the YouTube channel Synthetic Alien here on YouTube, and SCP-3999 is what you're searching for. Let me pop over to here. Let me mute the audio involved. Nope, wait. Slow down. So, SCP-3999, the movie, featuring the Sherman, because this is 7 years ago, before I think Dr. Theron Sherman even existed. This is back when I was still going by my wiki user handle, the Sherm. But make sure the volume is maxed. Good to go. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm just showing you some clips. So we pop over here.
The most advisable course of action is for researcher Talleyrand, believed to be the focal point of SCP-3999, to remove himself from contact with all animal life to avoid further collateral damage to the...
Hate this. Hate this a lot. I never like those.
Researcher Talleyrand's family is to be summarily executed one by one. The process is to be carried out by trained agents selected from a variety of mobile task forces, including FTF Omega 8, FTF Lambda 12, FTF Psi 7, FTF Tau 5.
And so, yeah, there's a lot going on here. It goes back and forth between the text of the documents and a live-action film. It is flipping all over the place. So, Synthetic Alien, SCP-3999, the movie, so to speak. It is 34.5 minutes. You can enjoy that when you are available to do so. All right, let's close that up and take it back to the chat. Is there a cloning SCP? Intern Sonic, you most likely would be looking for SCP-2000, a cloning facility under, I believe it's Yosemite, right? SCP-2000. Is it Yellowstone or Yosemite? Blah, 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 blah. Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park. There we go. And so, It is a cloning facility that we have to boot up every time there's an end of humanity so that we can replace humanity and move forward. That would be the most well-known cloning SCP, although not the only one, that's for sure. Let me go to the search function on the database just to see if I can find any other clone. So you've got SCP-222, the clone coffin. You've got SCP-2430, the immortal Hitler clone. Reminder, staff, if you are feeling stressed and need a vent, now I don't always advocate for venting. Venting your emotions could lead to getting a pattern of violence that you don't want to do often. But if you just need to punch something, why not immortal clone Hitler? I mean, it's not going to die. You might as well put the human punching bag to use once in a while. Yes, everybody who is surprised, SCP-2430. It's actually quite a well-made story, despite its sensationalist title, about how Joseph Stalin utilized a whole bunch of anomalies to create this immortal clone of Hitler. That way Stalin could take great pleasure in torturing it repeatedly as revenge for all the stuff. It's a whole thing. Desk is letting me know SCP-1680, codenamed Tyler, is kind of clones because it's a school bus that drops off dozens of the same kid every day. And so that is how we get Child D class outside of the war orphans that we use, aka the Warphans. I saw some intern Polsky Cool Kid. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. And I see a Ko-Fi notification came through. Let me get that before I forget it exists. Aflac, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, and thank you for taking the effort to go to the Ko-Fi, which only takes 3% of your donation, whereas YouTube Super Chats take 30%. So especially for larger donations, we greatly appreciate you going through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a charcuterie board on your way past the commissary. I'll eat when I am hungry, and I'll drink when I am dry. If the hard times don't kill me, I'll lay down and die. Oh, this is a different song. Rye whiskey, I cry. If you don't give me rye whiskey, I surely will die. I did the River Drivers because it starts with the chorus starts with the same. I'll eat when I am hungry and I'll drink when I am dry. I really need to look up this rye whiskey song. But thank you for giving me, Aflac, an excuse to doing some singing. Always fun. SCP the musical when? When we have the budget for it. Kitty Fly, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi as well. Grab yourself a sweet cup and cake on your way past the commissary. I read the article SCP-217. It was pretty time-consuming. Oh no. Oh no. What is SCP-217? Codename the Clockwork Virus. It turns you into a clockwork robot. It eats your body. You could say that's time-consuming you, as a matter of fact. Oh, chat, do not give Desk credit for Clef Eats Ask the Musical. That's from the database. Now, does Desk's love affair with it worry me and the rest of us? Yes. But That is a wiki database endorsed musical. Clef Eats Ass the musical is canon. Scarlet Fox, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some chicken wings on your way past the commissary. Screw the Church of the Broken God. Give me the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Yes, this is real. Look it up. Oh, trust me. I, an elder millennial, am well familiar with the Pastafarian religion, okay? They had a stranglehold on the fight against the evangelicals back in the day. Believe me, I will take the Flying Spaghetti Monster over most of the deities we have to deal with at the Foundation. I don't know what to put. An imaginary ghost. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Can I tell this information to civilians? Absolutely not, Intern Blue. Absolutely not. This stream is encoded in the YouTube algorithm to only go to SCP Foundation staff members and those allowed to be perceiving it. Please do not share Foundation secrets outside of legitimized spaces. Shit, that reminds me. There's a broken Jesus. A broken Jesus? Desk, are you bringing to mind a whole new Jesus? I worried about this. Oh, cool. I'm not an SCP worker, yet I got in. Lucky me. Oh, Intern Vex. You just don't remember being a Foundation researcher because you just woke up from your amnestic treatment due to the horrors that you experienced on the job yesterday. So yes, you are a staff member. Everyone here is staff members, or at least some sort of individual who is allowed to witness these streams. Maybe you don't remember because of amnestic treatment. Maybe you're a sleeper agent who just got awoken, in which case your mission dossier is under your chair. Good luck and welcome back, agent. Or if you are damnably certainly a civilian, it must be that you exist in a universe where the masquerade is broken, where the civilians know about the anomalous, they know about the Foundation, and you're listening to me for public relations purposes, in which case, let me say, the Foundation are the best people to be dealing with anomalies, and you should be so glad that we got your back. We die in the dark, so you can live in the light. You're welcome. Oh, I want to see who is on the t-shirt. It's you, Dr. Petroa. Is Clef there? Well, I don't know who Dr. Petroa is, and they're not on the shirt, Intern Vasalandia. But perhaps you're mistaking someone who is on the shirt. You see, this is Dr. Alto Clef, Dr. Kane Pathos Crow, Dr. Theron Sherman, Dr. Jeremiah Cimmerian, Dr. Benjamin Kondraki, and Dr. William Wallace Weddle. And so this shirt, the Reservoir Docs t-shirt, is currently available at the link in our description / the link that is pinned in the chat. Thank you for supporting Site 42 if you purchase our merch. And thank you for bringing up the merch so I can pimp it some more. What is this? What is this? What is this? Gotcha. Okay. Have you seen the stuff from DUMBCON yet? Dr. Soundwavy, oh my god. No, I haven't. I've only seen one article. And I put this chat, Containment Hazard Assessment Team, through an entire reading of SCP-9967. The DUMBCON article whose prompt was, you have to make an honest and serious article about the 6-7 meme. And I gotta say, it wasn't terrible. Wasn't bad. It hurt a lot of people's souls, but that's just life at the Foundation. You get used to it. Buttress yourselves. Buttress yourselves. But you are correct. I was going to do a stream today. I haven't gotten to the subject yet. But I was going to do a stream about -J SCPs. But why would I do a stream about -Js when I can Do DUMBCON instead. It's so much more topical. Is this SCP dumb to you? Today, yes. Exploring DUMBCON SCPs. I have changed the stream title. You have brought to me a new and more important stream subject. We are going to DUMBCON. Puppet Boy, trust me, -J SCPs will be on the docket, but topical. It's going on right now. DUMBCON is happening right now. So we can't ignore it any longer. DUMBCON SCP. Let's play. So, DUMBCON voting ends. When is the end of voting? When is the end of voting? Winners decided February 4th. So literally voting ends today. We are last minute coming into DUMBCON. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with what the hell we're talking about here for DUMBCON, DUMBCON is an unofficial SCP contest, meaning it's being run not by the usual contest staff, but just a group of SCP authors who wanted to run their own contest. And so let's look at DUMBCON. DUMBCON. What is DUMBCON? DUMBCON is an unofficial contest in which participants submit one bad, dumb, or otherwise challenging writing idea to be randomly given to another participant. Each participant must then attempt to write their assigned prompt as a main list SCP. But first, a quick message from our sponsor, winner of the dumbest prompt, Zoempause. Hi, I'm Zoempause, winner of the DUMBCON Dumbest Idea Prize. As a reward, the hosts, in their endless magnanimity, have allowed me to grace your eyes with an advert of my choice. And, to thank them for the kindness, I've decided to pay it back by promoting their articles. Read SCP-9850, 9102, and 7763. But you should also read my SCP-9945, and you died. You broke the rule. Notice the rule has been broken in the past. Do not break the rule. The spoils. If you win first place in DUMBCON, you get a parody content farm of your article created and posted by the bestest SCP author of all the SCPs except the bad ones, your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber, Radiger. Second place gets art of your DUMBCON article, and third place gets public shaming. Some sort of shameful art piece made by the hosts. And Dumbest Idea got the permanent advertisement. Oh me, oh my. So, we are now jumping in to DUMBCON. Obviously, let's see how many articles we have here. Oh my god! There are too many SCP authors. There are too many SCPs. We need to put a hold on SCP writing until we get this figured out. Let me count the ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21... 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 40, 41, 42. Best number, 43, 44. 44 SCPs have been submitted to DUMBCON. DUMBCON has 44 entries. Now, I am going to start, because there's a list of SCPs here. Do they show up in the same order every way? Or when I refresh this, entries will show up here when tagged. Okay, so these rearrange every time I click on it, which means that they're not in any particular order. So, bearing with that, and bearing with how long this stream is going to be, I'm first going to choose... yeah, I'll just go down this particular random order we have here. Intern Nugget 9541. If you are currently here in the chat right now, you are free to pimp your DUMBCON article. SCP authors in my chat are always welcome to self-promote. We are here to support you, SCP authors, and that includes your shameless self-promotion. Trust me, from the god of shameless self-promotion. Note that that is a figure of speech. I am not a deity of any sort, nor anomalous. We don't need to contain me. Forget about all that Schrodinger's anomaly stuff. We don't need to worry about right now. We're talking about DUMBCON. So, first up, we spoke about SCP-9967 by SCP author Mix Sinister. And DUMBCON, version of 9967 meme is titled "The 67 meme is proof postmodernism 1." Yeesh! Is that actually the title that comes up there, or is that just a catchphrase? I want to know that before I continue. Where's the sidebar? There's the sidebar. It's on the side. It's just in a different place on the side. So, if I go into the 10 series, and I go down to 9967... Okay, it's just called 67 meme. So what I read was a catchphrase or a promo tagline. Tagline's what I'm looking for. Okay, so, you know what, Nugget? Since you joined us here today, SCP author, I'm starting with your article. Where is it? Your second entry on the main list, you said, was a contest entry? That is brave. I have still never entered a contest. But that's because I'm bad at writing on a timer. Okay. SC Desk, thank you for the back channels. And we are dealing with SCP-9412, codename Project GC. That doesn't tell me much about what's going on here, but I will show you. We have quite the format here. Welcome to SkipNet Internal Database. Insert credentials. GC Handler Official Password. Print files for SCP-826. Search Area 319. All sorts of stuff. Coming down. Oh no! Oh no, it's an Apollyon! The world is over! Oh no! But we are still alive, so maybe it wasn't that bad. Let's continue. So, if you have a cognitive resistance value of above 7, which remember, SCP-2316, Field Trip, requires a CRV of over 14.5, I believe. So this is a lot less dangerous than recognizing bodies in the water. Direct references to this target focus have been redacted within this article to prevent accidental mimetic activation. Or have shown to be immune to 9412 infection entirely, referred to as 9412-As, are to be transferred to Area 319 if such transfer is capable of being accomplished discreetly. Due to the nature of 9412, all personnel are to be considered for transfer, though careful consideration is to be used for Level 0 and Class D personnel. Alright, we're at the description now. Let's see what we're dealing with, people. SCP-9412 is an anomalous viral mimetic hazard of unknown origin that is spread to all human populations. Okay, we are all infected, apparently. It doesn't mean we're not immune, it just means we are infected, we are carriers. Due to Area 319's technical limitations and clearance allocations, it is impossible to determine if 9412 occurs within extraterrestrial facilities and extra-dimensional populations. 9412 is capable of distorting an infected individual's memories and moral beliefs, perception of memories and moral beliefs, to influence their behavior. This modification is done to assist the destruction of SCP-9412's target focus, term expunged. Behaviors produced as a result of 9412 infection in human populations are, but are not limited to, expressing extreme repulsion towards the idea of preparing and consuming, term expunged. Expressing extreme hostility towards people who prepare and consume, term expunged. Verbal beratement, physical violence, and attempted homicide are not uncommon. Footnote: while believed to be an unintentional side effect, the gradual termination of people resilient or immune to 9412 infection over time within the human population constitutes an LK class restructuring event. Modification of physical and digital media to remove direct mentions of term expunged and related preparation instructions. Modification of law systems to uphold the persecution and termination of individuals who prepare and consume term expunged or who advocate for the preparation and consumption of term expunged. So pause. Here we are. This is some sort of food that if you talk about it, make it, or eat it, it is fine to verbally berate them, be physically violent to them, or attempt to murder them. I feel like this is how some people feel about cilantro. Also, before it came out to be some sort of food item, I definitely thought this was redacting the concept of the game. So, at least it's not that. I would not be shocked if it shows up in a later article, though. It's possible to induce suppression of 9412 within infected individuals. See Project GC for more details. Interrogation combined with the administration of amnestics is the most effective method, though individuals with a high CRV are also capable of inducing suppression themselves through introspection into their beliefs and behaviors. Self-suppression is rare outside of controlled environments. However, as infected individuals empower 9412 infection in others through social peer pressure and reaffirmation of shared beliefs. Addendum 1. 9412-A individuals are resilient to 9412 entirely, though these individuals are rare and often subjugated or terminated due to their lack of animosity toward term expunged. It is unknown how many members of the human population are 9412-A instances, but analysis of 9412-A26, formerly designated as D41226, showed as potentially hereditary in nature. I'm also starting to suspect... we're talking about pineapple on pizza, but I feel like pineapple on pizza is enjoyed by less than the majority. Whereas, unless they also started killing those who don't like it until the people who didn't like it became a minority. Still not there yet. This is a note from the site director, Grace Chandler of Area 319. Greetings to those who have been employed at Secure Area 319 prior to this event, making this announcement. I also understand some of you, you don't speak it out loud. You think to yourself, this is ridiculous. Everything about this is stupid. It's so utterly insane and absurd. Why am I risking my profession, my accreditation, my own life for something so ridiculous and stupid and absurd? And you are correct. It is ridiculous. It is stupid. It is absurd. It is dumb. But it is not insignificant. Not only has such a drastic change been made to our world, to the people who live innocently in it, to the people who were supposed to be dedicated to protecting it from such phenomena to the very end, but this ridiculous, stupid, absurd change is hurting people. People are losing their lives from it. People who only get one chance at life and the wonders of joys of being alive are having their existence cut short and destroyed because the universe decided that making a term expunged should be punished with excommunication and beratement and death. I'm telling you this because the entirety of humanity is dependent upon you. Not you, as in the foundation you work for, but you specifically. This is all very dramatic. I'm enjoying it. I am skipping around. Please read the whole thing of all of the articles. Obviously, if I try to read every bit of every article, we never get anything done today. So I do have to short version these. Which means, if we ever want to see a world where ordinary innocent people aren't strung up and brutalized for making a term expunged for their hungry children, you need to get your shit together and start acting like the professionals you are. We will only get through this if you and your colleagues start treating this absurdness with the seriousness it warrants. Remember, the world is depending on you. Grace Chandler, Site Director, Secure, Contain, Protect. All right. The D class is being interviewed by Harold Stanford. We're talking about what's going on, facility. The D class is asking, is this about the fucking term expunge thing? I need to ask you to refrain from using that word directly out loud. So, researcher Stafford winced when this term expunged was said. And the answer was that word. So it's a single word. So pineapple pizza isn't a word. That's two words. So, Amber, this is SCP-9412. Scrolling through the D class. Scrolling. We are broadcast of SCP-9412/W, a cognitohazardous video designed to induce resistance toward 9412 in infected viewers. So they are trying to get it so people stop trying to kill people for eating this term expunged. It is safe to consume the term unexpunged. It's a nice little, delightful, funny, comical video, or a transcript of it. Now I want to make that video. I want to make the safety video extolling the virtues of eating term expunged with like funny background music and smiling, cheering faces, but everyone's face is redacted and the food they're eating is redacted because this is so terrible. So this is it, huh? I'm gonna save the world. Man, this is great. I love making term expunged. I love making so pasta, hamburgers, okay, the actor doesn't want to make this thing. It's just such a simple meal, you know, just blank and blank cooked together. I guess it's just the blank itself. I can't stand foods that overuse it. Maybe I'm just lactose intolerant or something. I like milkshakes a lot though, so maybe it's... Is it cheese? Texture, greasy, sticky. I'm sorry. So yeah, this actress cannot pretend to like this thing long enough to make a safety video for it. Following the broadcast of 9412-W on April 12th, 2026, 9412 was successfully suppressed within a majority of the viewing population before the initial broadcast was shut down by automated Foundation web crawlers. While suppression of the entire population at once was not possible, inoculated individuals were able to spread footage of 9412-W as well as its message. So it's our fault that this is being allowed to be eaten. 2 years after broadcast, Foundation facilities recorded an influx of data corrupted, uncontainable breach in, leading to a data corrupted, constituting a data corrupted. It's an Apollyon scenario, targeting civilians, acceptable use of paratechnological weaponry, kill on-site protocol, end of the world scenario, lots of data corrupted. What is this all about? We are deleting all of the evidence from Site 319. The Global Occult Coalition just showed up, perhaps to stop us from doing this. SCP-826 is mentioned again. It seems... Okay. We almost made it at the end there. I almost had it as we got closer to the finish line. I have now discovered the spoiler at the end. So, the spoiler at the end. You want to cover your ears if you do not want to hear the spoiler and you want to go read 9142 on your own. You have to hold your ears until I unclog my ears. Once I unclog my ears, your spoiler is safe. All of this to say, we were dealing with anomalous hatred of grilled cheese. Grilled cheese sandwiches are the Apollyon anomaly that caused everyone to murder each other to death. Spoilers complete. Am I right? Even? Did I just do all that spoiler thing and I'm not even right about it? At least that's what I'm seeing at the bottom of the thing. Well, thank you, Nugget, for bringing us a joyous, confusing tale on another Apollyon scenario for the Foundation that we ourselves are the cause of. Cool. All right, guys. We are moving on. But before I do, Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a meatball sub on your way past the commissary. Couldn't find the shirt in the shop. I really want it. Desk. Not desk. Why am I talking to desk? Rebel Commander, if you go to the pinned chat link, that is the Site42 support link, beacons.ai/Site42. It has a direct link to the shirt that we have made. So if you go to the pinned link, it'll take you directly to there. So that's where you want to go. Intern Yukio, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a chicken salad sandwich on your way past the commissary. I have SCP-953. I, SCP-953, have escaped again, and I'll enslave. But why do you have a phone, and why are you telling us you escaped? That's terrible, OPSEC. We can track the cell phone, you know. You're not going to get too far. Are you going to do all the DUMBCON or just the top articles? Intern Demonic. I cannot possibly go over all the DUMBCON articles because there are 44 of them. And just one of them has put us at 45 minutes of stream after our 20 minutes of lollygagging. So, I'm going over as many DUMBCON articles as I can in between you guys' donations and Q&A questions. And we'll just get as many as we can through. I'm not even doing the top ones. The page randomizes them. So I'm starting at the next one, but it's whichever one's next in line in the random list. Intern Drink, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Researcher Feels, thank you for your 9 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. And hey, I feel like it's been a while. I hope you've been doing okay. What if there's no Half-Life 3 because half implies 2? Well, then you saw nothing. What about Half-Life 1 then? What about Half-Life 1? Because 1 would be 0.5. And so 2 is 1. And then 3 is 1.5. So it still produces in sequence, I believe. Shark Jumping Walrus, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself, I guess, some cheese at the commissary because you're sharing cheese for everyone. I hope everyone who is not lactose intolerant enjoys their cheese blessing. Kitty Fly, thank you for donating again to the Ko-Fi specifically, where we get all but 3% of your donation, where YouTube Super Chat actually takes 30%. So we greatly appreciate you going through the effort to go to the Ko-Fi. Don't ask me for a joke about SCP-3008. I'll never get to the end of it. Hey. I tried to solve the mystery of SCP-087, but I couldn't get to the bottom of it. Nice. Nugget, thanks for joining us to point it out. And I do hope you enjoy your dietary preferences well. May you never have the term expunged when you don't want it. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some chips for that queso you're getting. Sounds great to me. Why is the... There we go. Okay, chat's fixed. Chat is fixed. Welcome back, chat. All right. Next up on our DUMBCON list is... This one doesn't have an SCP number, but it's The Community's Proposal by Lord Stonefish. Stonefish, what do you got for me? This is terrifying and I'm already upset. Oh. A puppy turtle. Stay in the chat, you're next. Stay in the chat, you're next. Remind me at the end of this one, but The Community's Proposal with a photo of Sean Duffy, the 48th President of the United States of America. Why his head flat? Why his eyes frog? Snake. Reptile. What is this? Besides terrifying me. SCP-001, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. 001 is widely distributed across base reality as of December 1st, 2026. The O5 Council in their last act prior to termination by SCP-001 declared by unanimous vote a VK Class Lifted Veil event, revealing the existence of the Foundation and similar organizations to the public. The Foundation Community Board, hereafter FCB, a successor organization, has been anomalously designated a legal person of specifically human origin in order to avoid SCP-001's effects upon it. The FCB has collectively decreed that the public mission of the Foundation will shift to mitigating the effects of and educating the public on SCP-001. This involves the organization taking immediate control of all world governments, government organizations, financial institutions and instruments, major corporations, and other political entities. The method used to achieve this without triggering SCP-001 are detailed in Supplementary Document 001-01, an archive list of protocols and containment procedures derived by Foundation thaumaturgists and narrativistics personnel. So, The FCB's collected primary procedures for the ongoing containment and mitigation of SCP-001 involve a single primary rule, widely enforced. No one human being on Earth may hold more wealth or power than any other. We're doing extreme Foundation enforced communism, everyone. Look out. Persons affected, description. SCP-001 is an unknown force that manifested into existence on November 29th of 2026 and quickly spread across the planet. SCP-001 applies a constant physical pressure to all individuals believed to possess more money and power than any other human being, gradually crushing them. Now we know why Duffy was so squished. Persons affected by SCP-001 experience a bodily compression, decreasing their height, increasing their width, and causing a, quote, flattening effect across the highest point of their topological surfaces. This pressure is in the range of hundreds of megapascals, yet for the most part lacks the injurious nature that such a pressure would normally mount on a human being, despite being at its worst equivalent to that of gravity on a star-sized object. Cells in the body, including bones, nerves, and muscles, all function semi-normally, though not at the highest levels without great strain. Individuals affected by SCP-001 describe it as somewhat painful. The speed of the phenomenon's onset is relative to the amount of capital an individual possesses, as well as the rate of wealth accumulation. A person who gradually gains $1 billion over the course of a year would experience a gradual transformation, but the experience would be extremely rapid for a person with this amount already in their possession. Indeed, individuals possessing such extremely high levels of wealth fully collapse under the immense and immediate pressure. Such collapses are so total and utterly violent that the resulting shockwave resembles that of high-yield explosives. So, in this universe, we lost a lot of politicians and business magnates. Oop. La 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 la. Stonefish! I'm going through, obviously I'm skipping ahead a little bit because we can't read the whole thing. The first YouTube video taking a positive approach to the changes is uploaded. User Grok Arnaz, a manosphere influencer, life coach, self-described AI entrepreneur, scammer, posts a video titled, How to Short Max Quick Through Surgery. No Wealth Required. The video quickly reached over 12 million views with 48 hours. Thumbnail for Grok Arnaz's How to Short Max Quick Through Surgery, No Wealth Required, featuring a bone saw, no, a standard wood saw, not a bone saw, glass of brown liquor, likely whiskey, Elon Musk looking squished, Mr. Beast, Andre the Giant versus the Chad Shorties. What? Why? Stonefish, why do you do this to me? Remember, we're dealing with the author of SCP-3999 here. So, yeah. The cultural shifts of everyone becoming flat or not becoming flat. This has a lot of what I can tell are really good pop culture references. This is probably really funny. The veil is partially breached when various members of the Wide Jack movement, affiliated with various behind-the-veil organizations including the Foundation, the GOC, Are We Cool Yet, and the Valvrin Corporation, inform members of the press working for outlets including CNN, BBC News, and the Financial Times, and the New York Magazine of their participation in a global cabal of secret organizations. An attendee, revealed by internal investigation to be a low-level archivist working at Site 78, claims his workplace gives him the right to be short, and I'm tired of hiding it. The individual was amnesticized and reassigned. Similar methods have been taken at all similar affected organizations. This is fucking bananas. Lord Stonefish and author Anorak, who I did not mention earlier because you're not on the contest page. But Lord Stonefish and Anorak have brought us the community's proposal, an SCP-001 about flexing on the losers by short maxing. I feel as if I'm going to have an aneurysm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stonefish and Anorak, for hurting me so. Popping back into the chat for a moment before we go for the next one. Let me get this dono here. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, wasn't going to watch Iron Lung, not a horror fan. Seemed a bit much for me. But when he put out that call to action, dear God, I will see that movie. Hey, I highly recommend it. Also, it's not really jump scare horror. It's more of a suspense thriller and kind of Cthulhu mythos. And so, or I'm not going to say Cthulhu mythos, but it's eldritch. It's Lovecraftian kind of. Cosmic horror. So thriller, suspense, cosmic horror with a little bit of like horror. Let me double check the Ko-Fi, make sure I haven't missed any notifications during that. All clear. Double check the back channels. Okay. First of all, Desk, did you hear about the SCP-41D3N73-J starting a religion? For reference, that's SCP El Dente. It's a joke about pasta. Its new title is SCP Holy Macaroni. God damn it. Specifically, SCP-6542 Milk Jesus, because obviously that goes with the Holy Macaroni. Okay, where were we? Puppy Turtle, you were here, you were next. You said mine was SCP-9349. By the way, mine is stupid long. Don't feel obligated to spend any longer on it than you may feel makes sense for your stream. Thank you for the clearance to do that, Puppy Turtle. Desk has that for me in the back channels. I will pull it up and we will see what we're dealing with. The goal is to get the gist today. The goal is to get the gist. SCP-9349, object class neutralized. Content warnings, everyone. Content warnings for SCP-9349. This article deals with themes of trauma, toxic masculinity, and homophobia, including the F and Q slurs uncensored. It also depicts severe injury, gore, and sexually explicit dialogue. Okay. Just one thing I want to look at before I actually dive into this. I forgot to look at the discussion of the previous one, just to see if there was anything funny said by Stonefish and Anorak. Picture of Sean Duffy turned into a chode. Yep. So glad I opened the discussion for that. My prompt for this here idiot contest was, an unknown force applies physical pressure to all individuals on Earth. The more wealth they own, the more pressure it applies, causing a Broken Masquerade scenario where trillionaires, billionaires, and millionaires all explode, including Marshall Carter and Dark. What remains the foundation establishes global socialism. I decided that wasn't dumb enough. We had to go stupider. Good work, Stonefish. You monster. All right, now, 9349. And 9349 is codenamed 9349. The Horse The Homestead and the Huntsman. A story about love, manhood, courage, belonging, and 3 men falling in love with a talking horse. SCP-9349. We're falling in love with a talking horse, people. 9349 was a domestic horse which seemingly possessed human-level intelligence and was anomalously capable of speech. The entity claimed to have once been a human, transformed into its current form by thaumaturgy. As 9349 was never fully within Foundation custody, further information is limited largely to the entity's own unverified claims. The Foundation learned of its existence while monitoring a small conclave belonging to the Order of the Sidereal Stag, an occult religious order devoted to the eponymous Sidereal Stag, a minor deity. Sir also came and discovered that this conclave, located in southeastern Missouri, has failed to maintain the counter-divinatory wards usually used by members of the Order to avoid detection. Hoping to gather more information on the secretive group, the Foundation quickly subjected the Conclave's domicile and surroundings to extensive thaumaturgic surveillance. As a result, the Foundation possesses extensive records of events taking place on and near the property between March 2024 and January 2025. Prior to the arrival of this talking horse, 3 individuals resided on site. Remy Butler, the Conclave's sidereal leader, a skilled thaumaturge specializing in folk magic and magical healing. The Conclave's horned warden, Ernest Knight, an accomplished Theurge. A Theurge is a beseeching pluripotent or divine entities for supernatural aid. So a warlock. And then Nathan Sharp, the youngest member of the Conclave. Sharp is a skilled and studious alchemist, known to frequent the Wanderer's Library. So we have horses. We have a cult who is worshipping and in love with the horse or something like that. They're talking about the horse in this interview. This is incredibly long. They're talking to the horse. They're doing something in the barn next to the horse. This is getting worse. For me, anyways. We're going to use the barn the way we normally would. Do some ritual stuff in that corner over there. Ah, I see. Do you need me to wait outside? Says the horse. No one heard anything for you to be here. Just don't come over and mess with what we're doing. I wouldn't dream of it. The Conclave retreats to the opposite side of the barn. At the beginning of the ritual, 9349 isn't paying the practitioners attention, but over time, it takes more interest in them. After half an hour in the ritual, the 3 take a break while waiting for the alchemical reactions to conclude. Well, you seem to be taking a break. My apologies, it's rude to interrupt. You should proceed with your... No, it's fine. Do you need something? Need to go to the bathroom again? No, come to think of it, that might be a good idea. It wasn't my original reason for speaking. I'm simply a bit curious about what you're doing. Oh, just a theurgic divination. Explaining the horse, what kind of magic they're doing. Don't confess your religious beliefs to this outsider, even if the outsider is a talking horse. Oh, okay. The cultists are anti-toxic masculinity. Well, that's nice for them, it seems. Also, we're mostly gay. I like that Ernest Knight is a name with 2 meanings, obviously. And so the subject being an Ernest Knight who just... Also, we're mostly gay. What? I mean, apparently, since we're giving him a crash course on the Order of the Sidereal Stag, we might as well mention that bit. Is it a problem? And the horse is not mad about the gay cult. They are a polycule. So it's a triangle until the horse gets involved. But then that's a whole different scenario. Or is it to these people? I'm just kind of scrolling through and I'm figuring out what the subject that we're supposed to get from the story in summary is. The Cliff's Notes. I'm trying to find them. But this one is very conversation heavy. So you're really getting into character and discussion of lore with these character interviews. I do find it funny that we are thaumaturgically surveilling them, which means that these are still audio logs like the Foundation logs them, but it's just 3 guys in a polycule talking to a talking horse. It looks like the horse was going to valiantly leave. That way the little gay cult would not have to expend resources, but they convinced the horse to stay. Over the course of the following months, 9349 further integrated itself into the conclave, forming closer social bonds with the members. Early in the morning on December 21st, shortly after 9349 participated in his conclave's winter solstice celebration, the Foundation detected a large anti-Akiva emitter approaching the compound. Footnote: Akiva radiation is the empirical measure, slow down, of religious significance. So it's like Hume's for faith. Hume's for faith is what Akiva radiation is. Entities which emit anti-Akiva radiation are demonic, unholy, or blasphemous. When alerted to the anti-Akiva spike, Site-272's liaison from the Department of Tactical Theology judged that a demonic entity powerful enough to create it was likely a grave and imminent threat to the public. Mobile Task Force operatives stationed at the site were immediately charged with identifying its source and if possible containing it. So we're containing a frickin' demon. Is this the demon outside their little barn, or is it the Mobile Task Force outside of their barn? Despite emitting thalmic and anti-Akiva radiation consistent with a powerful, malevolent, supernatural entity, it visually appears to be a tall Caucasian man around 55 years old, dressed in worn or distressed denim. Upon emerging from the vehicle, the entity approaches the conclave's residence. The 3 residents emerge from the front door. Before it arrives, the entity greets them. Good morning. Morning. What do you want? Looking for a bit of stolen property that's gone missing around here. Stolen property? Some sad little thieves have made up with someone else's horse. Guess their fathers didn't raise them right. A horse? Went missing a few months ago. Its owners gave up looking for it, but some people have seen it around here, and now they're antsy to get it back. Footnote: follow-up interviews with James and Deborah McAllister suggest this was not the case, instead being consistent with the Conclave's previous assessment that they viewed 9349 as having minimal value and were apathetic about reclaiming it. They also denied having met anyone matching this entity's description. And so the cult is trying to keep the horse. The demon wants to take the horse, and they are arguing. They called us out by name thinking it might be us, but it wasn't us. It was a frickin' demon. Wasn't us. Shortly after the entity left the property, the Foundation's divinatory system ceased to detect it. MTF agents initially intended to search the Conclave's property, instead began to search the general vicinity for the entity with no success. So the demon disappeared. They are now waking up the horse. By the way, this point we are 60% through the article. And this is me giving 1 to 2 sentences per paragraph tops. So we are still rolling. They are trying to discuss what to do with the horse and with each other, with people looking for the horse. They are being alerted that the Foundation is around because I keep telling people, if you're going to use cutesy Foundation cover front names like Spicy Crust Pizzeria, you need to put on the anti-mimetic filters that cause people not to recognize it's a Foundation front company. You can't forget that second part just because you want to be cutesy with your ride. Oh, okay. No, it wasn't actually a Spicy Crust Pizzeria van that got us caught. They are just cutely referring to us as that in code. Rude. They're looking around. Foundation presence is around, and they know it. Over the following days, the Foundation's continued efforts to locate the unidentified demonic entity in the area continued to be mistaken by the Conclave for Foundation efforts to locate 9349. There was internal debate about whether to overtly approach the Conclave under the theory that their assistance containing the more dangerous entity might be useful, but tactical analysts concluded they had likely little to contribute to the effort. So now, we're getting into basically a full Tucker and Dale versus Evil situation. These hicks and their little talking horse think that we care about them while we're looking for a powerful frickin' demon in their midst. And we're just like, don't bother with them. The horse and the polycule are arguing. No, the horse and the demon are arguing. My bad. Evening, Dasher. Who are you? Where did you come from? Heh, come on now. Surely a little convent of fags has taught you something about me. Damn it! Sorry. My eyes went faster than my mouth. Content warning for slurs. Jesus freaking Christ. Specifically, in this case, we need Bread Jesus, SCP-3305, to heal from the situation at hand. Thanks, demon. And so, yes, the demon is saying slurs to the horse now. If you had to make a demon mean in the first place, then there's that. Next log, frickin' demons. We're back with the cult. They're trying to do something. And so a coward is led into the huntsman's ground. That's very dramatic. That is very dramatic formatting. The hunter laughs at futile cries. Oh boy. This is even longer than we thought because there's little like story segments that are hidden behind very cute taglines with glowing evil font. Alright, final addendum. 2 weeks after the above conversation, the Conclave successfully restored the Velvet Veil to their residence, preventing future Foundation divination. Less than a week later, it came to Foundation attention that their residence had been abandoned. Agents searching the property found neither the Conclave nor their belongings. In late 2025, forces charged with monitoring the Order of the Sidereal Stag learned that various associates of 9349 and his partners were being invited to a grove in Montana for a wedding. The Velvet Veil was deliberately lowered during this event to allow it to be photographed. And the convent and the horse get married. The end. Three men, a horse, and a wedding vow. End of story. What an adventure, puppy turtle. What an adventure. It's nice that it has a happy ending. You don't get a lot of those in Foundation stories. So that's good for them. Good for them. Ay, caramba. All right, popping back to the chat for a minute to see how we're doing. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, do you think the Black Knight from Monty Python would make the perfect D-class? Well, it doesn't feel pain, but it doesn't regrow limbs or anything. So once we run out of limbs, it's just done. All right, popping over to the Ko-Fi to check if I haven't missed anything. We're all clear there. Just got out of karate class for my fitness initiative. Hell yeah, 369 Destroyer. Go you. I happen to have a very painful leg day today. And so Foundation Fitness Initiative stays strong. You don't have to be the fastest researcher, just not the slowest. In case of a containment breach, you want to be able to flee the anomalies so you don't die. You want to be strong. That way, you can give really good hugs. Or you could lift furniture to help your friends when it is time for moving houses. Or, so you can have powerful arms for throwing can of soup for my family, if necessary. So, good work on the Foundation Fitness Initiative for you, 369 Destroyer, and me, myself, and also everyone else who is taking part. And Desk is going to share the Foundation Fitness Initiative t-shirt in the chat if you want to get a membership shirt to the Foundation Fitness Initiative and join us in getting this nerd crew to be a swole. I hope it was a workout owl rather than injury owl. Amber, you are correct. It was a workout owl. It was the good kind of owl where, oh my God, I have not moved this much in a long time. My heart rate was through the roof, as it should be. My ankle is not giving me any problems during it. I'm still keeping to some of the rehab, massage, and stretches that I did to make sure I don't overtax it. But so far, so good. So far, so good. That's why I'm getting into Parkour LOL, the perfect escaping anomalies physical art. Good work, Intern Lonnie. Intern Ice, I'm very glad you find this entertaining, but based on your username, I am forced to say fuck Ice immediately after seeing it. Just on principle. Dang, nice shirt, my guy. Can we get a fashion shot of it? You know, intern. What's your name, intern? Chat just. Oh, there you go. Intern Stars Love. Yes, you can enjoy the excellence that is. Here, let me move this. Boom. The Reservoir Docs t-shirt available at the scpstore.org under the Dr. Sherman category of shirts. Can I request my DUMBCON article and the one I made the prompt for? Intern Frodemer, of course you can. If someone is in the chat, that gives me much more motivation to check out their article. Reminder, I am briefly reading bits and pieces and bobs here, because we do not have time to read whole articles on today. There's too many of them. But yes, Frodemare, tell me your story, Intern Frodemare. Where are we going next? I've decided you're next. Thank you to everyone who is saying the same thing. Fuck Ice and nice shirt. Much obliged to all of you, staff. I didn't realize this chat has so many authors. Dr. Frogman, I do believe that Desk did us the favor of saying, hey, we're looking at DUMBCON articles in 19 Chord. And so I do believe that that has drawn us some extra authorship today. All right, mine is 9093, and my prompted one is 9919. Desk, will you save those in the back channels? That way we are able to not forget the second one as I read the first one. So, before I leave 9349, let me remember to check the discussion page. The longest sigh in human or equine history. You ever get a prompt for a contest and think, wow, I could write an entire romance novella based on that, but then you don't want to do it because the contest only gives you 3 or so weeks to write, but then you realize you really don't have a better idea, so you just have to write 20,000 words in 3 weeks? Yep, that's been my 2 weeks. It's the second most intense crunch I've ever been in, beaten out only under the one which I wrote my actual real published romance novel. So, we have an actual published romance novelist writing SCP horse cult romance novels. Love that for us. Love that for us. My DUMBCON prompt was a horse is married to an entire church congregation, including the priest, in a valid wedding ceremony. Madness to whichever one of you put that prompt in there. Madness. Where do you get these? Okay, popping over to the back channels to meet with Frodmer's SCP entry, item number 9093, which is code name Righteous Justice! Hell yeah. Okay. Including our opening photo, Containment Class Euclid. Be a patriot. Join today. A still from an episode of SCP-9093 showing a PIU agent training. What is a PIU agent? I believe we're about to find out. All television stations and streaming platforms within the greater Utica area are to be monitored by Foundation agents to limit possible veil-breaking incidents. If they are hosting 9093, Mobile Task Force Gamma 62, codenamed Solar Flares, are to be deployed. A power outage warning should always be issued right before deployment. 9093 refers to Righteous Justice, a crime fiction television program that airs exclusively within the greater Utica area. At any time, it may manifest itself and commandeer an existing broadcasting station, after which the station will only air 9093. If 9093 is not removed from a commandeered broadcast station for over 3 hours, it will manifest on local streaming services, making removal significantly more difficult. We can't find the source of it, and it may only be removed from an attached station via targeted signal jamming of the affected station. After 3 to 6 hours, 9093 will detach from its selected station, demanifest. Cutting power to the station is proven ineffective. If 9093 has reached local streaming services, it will only then manifest after 8 to 16 hours of having no possible way to be viewed, so it can only be removed via targeted power outage. And so, a scene. This episode aired on September 9, 2024, and was the first episode fully documented by Foundation personnel. It follows the NECPD, New England Commonwealth Police Department, as they attempt to take down a drug smuggling operation. Specifically, High Inspector Abrams and Special Agent Ross, PIU, Patriotic Investigations Unit. Dun dun! Alright, gentlemen, the scene opens inside of a moving armored vehicle. Special Agent Ross and 3 heavily armed PIU agents are seated. The scene lingers before Ross speaks. Alright, gentlemen, I'm aware I've asked a lot of you, but if we don't stop these people, our country will be destroyed from the inside. If any of us die today, it's for our country. We can't allow these drugs to be distributed. All of the agents nod. Glad we're on the same page. Abrams, give me a lay of the land. Everything from the fence until the building itself is open, and you should be able to use the Bearcat to cover once you get out. We have no intel on the inside, but it's safe to say it'll be pretty tight, so exercise caution. Sounds tough, but we'll get this guy. The vehicle stops, and the intro riff to an unknown classic rock song begins, although commonly used by SCP-9093. Right, we're here. Move, move, move! Be careful, Ross! I don't need to be careful. I live to serve and protect. The camera switches to a ground shot outside as the vehicle as the back doors swing open before panning towards the warehouse. Ross and the agents jump out and begin engaging multiple armed individuals by the entrance of the warehouse. Fuck! They've got machine guns! Vasquez is down! My fucking fingers, man! Gas them! The scene pivots to one of the agents who is loading a grenade launcher with a canister. Launching gas! The camera follows the canister in slow motion as it launches into a group of prone individuals and then explodes into smoke. Camera pans to Ross behind the truck. Ross, what's going on? We've got shots fired, but I'm pretty sure we've got them. Anyone hit? Vasquez, but he'll live. Ross turns his head and the camera pans toward Agent Hill, who's walking towards a group of individuals who are all now coughing, wheezing, and vomiting. Hill, you think you can just shoot my friends? Agent Hill fires into the group until his magazine is empty. Scrolling red text with a black background saying, Agent Hill is in a heightened emotional state, so he may seem abrasive, but he is still justified in his actions. Appears and cycles through 3 times. What the hell, Hill? It's fine. Let him grieve. I'll talk to him later. But right now we have to catch this guy. Footnote, Jacob Freeman. Okay, so that was one episode of this, or a scene from an episode of this Righteous Justice show. There's another episode where it seems like Agent Ross goes undercover while Lieutenant Nelson tries to de-escalate a robbery at a gas station. The next episode, try to determine who killed the CFO of a well-known company. Oh, so we're doing Brian Thompson. I see. And so we have these photographs as well, such as, these are the machines that keep you safe. Good citizens hide nothing. This is intense. Intensely patriotic, question mark. This episode aired on October 3rd. It follows Officer Lamont as he has to kill someone for the first time, and Special Agent Ross as he attempts to track down a notorious con man. Following this episode, there's been increased focus on Officer Lamont, Lieutenant Nelson, with Special Agent Ross and High Inspector Abrams taking more of a secondary role. Furthermore, all victims of 1993 have been confirmed to be non-violent and have perpetrated no crimes. So, oh boy. Very, very patriotic. Question and answers from Frodemare. Why does the dialogue feel weird? It meant to feel off like this part of a script of a bad propaganda show. What is it meant to be a satire of? Cop TV like The Rookie, NCIS, and Law & Order. If you are a fan of, I believe Skip Intro is a YouTuber that does a great series on propaganda. If you are interested in thorough academic looks at, well, quasi-academic as a YouTube essayist gets, on propaganda TV shows. What drove you to write this? My younger brother is obsessed with The Rookie, and I hate that show and what it stands for. But I like Nathan Fillion. But I haven't watched The Rookie. And so I don't know what it is as a show. And I have no attachment to it. But I like Nathan Fillion. I'll just keep enjoying Firefly. It's fine. Why are the anomalies' physical actions not focused as much after the show? Because frankly, it would be a lot more boring. So yes, we have a set of Overblown police procedurals. And then Frodemare, you're saying that your concept suggestion was SCP-9919, codename Beatles but Orange. Beatles but Orange. Due to infrequent and spontaneous manifestations of SCP-9919, conventional containment strategies have proven ineffective of this Keter class entity. In lieu of direct containment, the Foundation established a global anomalous incident intake and responses in the form of a public-facing bug reports help desk. Because of sustained budgetary constraints and staffing shortages, bug reports has been discontinued. Oops. System is replaced with an automated informational message and voicemail intake service. SCP-9919 is a noospheric crossover phenomenon between the conceptual domains of Orange and Beetle. Affected incidents result in the instantaneous transmutation of physical matter, exhibiting an orange coloration, into a mass of living beetles. These transformations are entirely at random and occur on a global scale. So somewhere in the world, something orange is going to turn into a bunch of beetles. I can see why that is incredibly hard to contain. So I'm eating these fucking cheese balls, right? And then it's like, I'm chilling, I'm playing some Hollow Knight. I take a handful and shove it in my mouth, and it's crunchy at first, which is normal, obviously. But then there's this second texture that doesn't feel like it belongs there. It's kind of squishy under the crunchy part, like a lima bean. Anyways, I think it's a weird stale thing until it starts squirming in my throat. And I spit it out, and it's all mushed up stuff that definitely isn't cheese balls. Then I look at the container, and it's all beetles, man. My cheese balls, they're all beetles. So yes, definitely not as bad as SCP-3123. And then it turned into an angry spider. But still unpleasant. Nope. Wait, was I right about the number? 3123 is not. And then it turned into a spider. SCP Angry Spider is it 3213? It's 3023. I see. 3023 is, and then it became an Angry Spider. Hate that one. Hate it. Hate it. I do not want an ibuprofen tablet turning into a angry, violent spider in my throat, mid-swallow, and bursting out like a frickin' alien. No bueno. This traffic cone turned into a beetle. Jupiter looks like it's been replaced by a giant beetle. Just figured I would let someone know. Thank you, bye. Why are these all Beatles? Ringo Starr, John Harrison, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, yes. But yes, I do understand that asking why all the people who are calling in are Beatles when this is an article about Beatles. Frodman, this is your fault. You didn't write it, but you suggested the prompt that made it happen. This is your fault. I blame you. Hey, have you checked the news? The president is Beatles. And in the, wait. SCP author Harmacy thought Beatles was the British spelling of Beatles. And not the name of the band because it had the word beat, because music? No. Harmacy thought it was just the British spelling of the bug Beatles. I love that for them. That's incredible. Okay, and yes, well, with SCP-5004 either being, SCP-5004-B, either being exploded during the flattening or turned into beetles, That is 2 timelines where hashtag Clef for President is now on the menu. So there we go. A discussion for 9919. No author page. Or no author post. Waiting on the R. Reserved. Okay. Popping back to the chat to catch up on what I've missed before we move on to the next DUMBCON. By the way, we are currently at 1 hour and 36 minutes of today's stream. We have 24 minutes left of what I suggested it would be. We might go over. I'm having fun with these DUMBCONs. But first, Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, you know what happens when you bring the heat? Ice melts. You're damn right. You're damn right. Rixient, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and service. Hey, Dr. Sherman, my DUMBCON is 9195. My first article and first piece of serious writing since I was a young teen. Did you write something serious for DUMBCON? Well, I guess 9967 was a dumb thing taken seriously. So, not that shocking. And my prompted article for DUMBCON was 7534. Well, desk, put 9195 and 7534 in the back channels. Thank you, desk. So, 9195 is the one that Demonic Fan wrote. And 9195 is codename Everything Stays. Codename Everything Stays. Let's see what we got. Now this starts with a opening, seemingly out of universe text prompt. You aren't sure how long you've been walking for. Hours, a few days maybe, years. You passed the first mountains what it felt like forever ago, and an eternity before that you had scouted out in the opposite direction. You smack your lips, looking beside yourself to see McEnroe holding up and staring at a rabbit plush. You can't remember exactly when he found it, maybe all the way back at the Mound of Socks, when you tried to find the D-Class. He's been holding on to it ever since. You asked him what was so important about it, and he couldn't tell you exactly why. He could just remember something about how he had one just like it when he was a kid, or he thinks he can remember at least. You let him hold on to it, not like he'd listen anyways if you told him to put it down. Every step you take feels harder than the last, and your brain is screaming at you to take a moment and just rest. You know you shouldn't. You know you can't. You remember what you saw when that D-Class took a moment to rest. You aren't even sure if that pile was his. The whole land blends together, everything nearly the same as far as the horizon. As the mountain of old toys tower over the both of you, McEnroe turns and asks how you're doing. I'm fine, you slap at him, angrier than you mean to be. You wouldn't be here without him. You know that. You begin to wonder if this was all worth it. So that is our first person opening. Notice, as of 22nd January 2026, all attempts to explore SCP-9195-A will be postponed indefinitely. All unauthorized attempts to enter SCP-9195-A are to be immediately reported to your acting site director. Containment class Esoteric, secondary class Oblitus, disruption class Eki, risk class Notice. Object class Oblitus with a footnote. Containment of the anomaly is based around the remembrance of objects and people. Due to its nature, widespread containment of SCP-9195 has been deemed impossible. Foundation web crawlers report any online mentions of footage containing an SCP-9195 manifestation. A sock being transported to SCP-9195-A is our photograph. So that sock is being transported somehow. But how? 9195 is a phenomenon causing the disappearance of lost items and people. Current testing shows it to occur to objects in which an individual has an emotional attachment, with the nature of the emotional attachment having no effect on the chances of a 9195 manifestation. Additionally, 9195 impairs the memory of individuals who have formed an attachment to affected items, preventing them from clearly recalling the objects. Items confirmed to have been affected by 9195 through archive footage have been reported to be transported out of local reality, with further tests confirming lost items or to be transported to a neighboring reality, hereby referred to as 9195-A. I really thought we were going for socks in the dryer being teleported away for a minute there, but that doesn't seem to be the angle we're going at. Discovery. First observed on December 27, 2025, so this is a very recent. We only tested it for about a month. In which a sock that had been previously discarded by Dr. Isaiah McEnroe was transported out of local reality via 9195 and into 9195-A at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time. A transcript of the event found below. Dr. McEnroe enters his office, holding a box between his arms and sides, squeezes in the box a pair of orange novelty socks. McEnroe sits down at the desk and socks on next to a personal computer, goes to sit at desk. McEnroe glances at the pair of socks before picking them up off the top of the box, brings them up to his face, showing them to have a design depicting a cowboy possum. This pair was later confirmed to be a Christmas gift to Dr. McEnroe by Dr. Julia Brown. After examining the socks for the following minute and letting out a sigh, McEnroe tosses the pair of socks towards a nearby trash can, where they miss and land to the side of the can. The pair of socks lies where they had previously been discarded, with Dr. McEnroe asleep at his desk. The ends of the socks slip into the floor of the office. The rest of the socks are then dragged into and through the floor of the office. Another 3 seconds, the pair are gone from sight. Following discovery of this spatial anomaly, both Drs. McEnroe and Brown were brought in for questioning. Neither could recall the pair of socks, and Brown only able to vaguely recall handing Dr. McEnroe some form of handmade gift at the Site 3 Christmas party. And now this is first person again, as you watch McEnroe lean over a mound of socks. They're trying to find the cause of of the spatial anomaly by interviewing Dr. Julia Brown, it seems. They're recording conversations, experimenting with D-Class and the spatial anomaly of sort, and amnestics because of the way forgetting about it is involved. There's a lot of exploration and research in this article. Interesting. So it seems that there's a way out of this. Clipping your way back out of the backroom style. I am popping over to Than the Demoness's author post to get a quick summary. This is your first article and first contest, so congratulations on getting yourself onto the database, Than. The article was created for the DUMBCON contest with the original prompt being, the Foundation finds why socks disappear every day and everywhere and find a way to stop this. Unfortunately, they discover why this is a bad idea in the worst way ever. All right. Well, obviously I didn't read the whole thing on stream for time constraints, but I can tell it's got a solid format, and it looks like it's doing well, so congratulations on your update. And let's take a quick peek at your prompt That was written by researcher Hikurinu. SCP-7534, codename Unrazor, object class Euclid. 7534 is electric razor. All product branding information have been removed. Exhibits a minor ectoentropic effect, that it does not require any continued source of power to function. When 7534 is enabled and run along the surface of a human subject's skin, contacted areas rapidly grow hair. Following the events of January 2nd, 2026, or February 1st, 2026, the date could be flipped, depends on where you are located, it is speculated that 7534 may possess additional anomalous effects. Further analysis pending. And so, when a future reference, if I am ever reading a document for a podcast episode and that happens where I can't tell if it's January 2nd or February 1st, a good thing to check before you read it for the recording is to go further down in the document and see if you can find another date that clarifies the issue. So the very next date is an investigatory committee hearing regarding an incident on January 9th, 2026. And so that tells us, okay, well, that was January 2nd and not February 1st. Just a little tip for your future SCP explorations when all of these different formats from different authors coalesce on the database. And so, after its disappearance on January 2nd, people think it may possess more powers than being able to run without power and being able to grow your hair. Apparently, the researcher involved has been on the project since April 19th, 2023. The object was voluntarily surrendered to the Foundation. Dr. Mackenzie Sultan walked into my office, tears in her eyes, and slammed it on my desk, told me to take it. This is not the standard procedure for the logging of newly discovered anomalous objects. Correct, I do believe she wanted to be rid of it as soon as possible. I was supervising several of the projects she was assigned to at the time, so I suppose that's why she immediately came to me. I mean, if she used it and then it grew a bunch of hair on her, she might be mad about that. Oh, this gets weird real quick, huh? No content warning on this, huh? Well then, what exactly did Dr. Sultan say to you when she provided you with the object? She wasn't especially coherent, so a lot of it just babbled out. She just said, take it away from me when she put it on my desk, and I only really got snippets from her after that. What sick joke is this? They're trying to make me a man, and other things to that effect, nothing of relevance to the object's origin. I'm not sure if this is transphobia from one side or the other here. Something's happening here. Interesting. Content warning just in case. Did Dr. Sultan's emotional state upon retrieving the object not strike you as odd or worth investigating? No, not at all. I have some history with her, and I understand there are some things she does not take lightly. It wasn't hard to see why it upset her. You know how those types are, yes? Please clarify the meaning of those types in this context for the record. Transgender. I see. Immediately following the acquisition of the object, initial testing and observation was performed on Class D personnel. Huh. Okay. Interesting start. Where are we going from here, Dr. Muller, who doesn't seem to care all that much about a staff member in distress and referring to a staff member coworker as those types? It's not a great look. Following audio log was recovered from the dash cam of Foundation-issued van in Site 81 topside parking lot. The van had not been moved for several days prior. Surveillance footage displays no excursion from the vehicle. All right, so we're going to use teleporty glasses. Teleporty glasses. They're talking about teleporting or being outside the van. They're trying to steal SCP-7534. Heard of an urban legend that sounded like it and it clicked. What did? Didn't think about it until after I first used it, but the hair it put on my legs, it was a silver gray, and I'm sure as hell not that old yet. You're probably going to explain this to me later. Right, save the sidetracking for when we get out of here. Yeah, don't want to linger. So, post made to the Parawatch forums. Hello, Parawatch Wiki, making a cameo. I've heard an urban legend, don't ask how, since where I've lived the past few years is anything but urban. Certainly didn't start anywhere around here. They say an electric razor exists, a few different stories about why, but if you try to shave with it, it doesn't shave the hair away. It shaves you away. Makes you a monster, reveals your true self or something, depending on who you ask. I'm a newbie here, if you couldn't tell, but I think I might have seen it or something like it. I don't shave my body hair much, and I don't own an electric razor for that matter. I think I had a guest over who left the thing in my bathroom. I think the legend goes it finds its way to you. Make of that what you will. I felt like trimming up the other day, so I grabbed the thing. Touched it to my skin, and I don't really know. Between that and a couple days later, my memory is blank. Neighbor said she saw someone she thought was some kind of cop pull into my driveway, but that's it. Something in me wants to say I just got distracted and didn't bother to shave in the first place. What do you all think? Next is an interview by Dr. Sultan, the person who was mad about the razor, and a Dr. Tolmoni, who was not the person in the initial interview who we think might have been being rude. Well, you got everything out of here you're still attached to? That'll be the last of it. Can't say much longer, so take it in. That's sentimental? If you don't, you'll regret it, I can tell you that. DUMBCON entry. The prompt I was working with was an electric razor that gives people more body hair rather than shaving it off. Immediately, the trans angst potential was obvious, but trans angst involving razors is basically the entire genre, and I want to inspire a bit more hope. So the more butch angle of subverting the dysphoria of more body hair immediately followed, and what better way to symbolize becoming your true self than to turning into an anthropomorphic wolf, right? My perception of what average person sees as their true self may be slightly skewed by my predominantly furry and Ortharian friend groups, but I digress. So, yep. The razor that makes you a furry. That's where we are with SCP-7534. Allow me a large sip of my coffee while I consider the implications. I left and I returned to the razor that makes you a furry. Tarleton Fox, I can't help if that's the situation. Did you say furry? I did. Fizzle the Fox, say furry. All the foxes in particular in chat are the ones responding to this. I wonder if there's a trend there. You are entirely the reason I've gotten back into the SCP fandom. Thank you. Well, intern Synapse Man Funny, you are quite welcome for that. I am happy to rekindle the interest in this awesome creative community. To me, SCP is kind of like Marvel Comics, except it's written by the people, not just the few people at the top who were in the company at the time. Not to take away that Marvel has great stories, great employees. I just like the democratic nature of the SCP fandom being made by the SCP fandom. I think that's pretty keen and unlike anything we have in day-to-day life. Rave Haven, thank you for your 2-month member message as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. Director Sherman, why are the walls talking? Well, they've got things to get off their chest, so just go out the door, let them have their conversation, don't eavesdrop. Cyber Scorpion, Welcome to Mobile Task Force Captainship here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and your service. Intern Coyote, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Get yourself a shrimp cocktail on your way past the commissary. What is the femur breaker, and why do I have to go into an IKEA or else I have to face the femur breaker? So, the femur breaker is a machine that breaks femurs. I think the name is pretty self-explanatory. Now, typically the femur breaker is only used to create extreme pain in a D class in order to return SCP-106 back to containment because it likes the screams of those in pain. But we can use it as a threat from time to time, and if you are annoying enough to have been threatened with it, then I bet you just want to go into the IKEA. You'll be fine. Desk. Damn it. Dr. Sherman, your shirt looks amazing and affordable. The art is spectacular, and might I say it makes you look thinner and smarter? Where can I get one? Are you doing a Stanley Parable joke? Or is that just really close to a Stanley Parable joke? Either way, the Reservoir Docs t-shirt is available in the Site 42 wing of the scpstore.org. Links are in our pinned chat as well as description link. Doctors Clef, Crow, Sherman, Sumerian, Kondraki, and Weddle are waiting for you. American Muscle Car Club, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a taquito on your way past the commissary. Good evening. And good evening to you. I like how he made me sound like classy white trash. I like that voice. All right. Chat. All of a sudden, I'm starting to get a little bit sleepy. But I will do one more DUMBCON. I will do one more DUMBCON. But before I do that, bro, I'm trying to open up my docs to write my SCP and wasn't expecting to hear a razor that turns you into a furry as a sentence. Lamau. Intern Lanny, you should expect everything at the Foundation. You never know, man. You never know. Okay. One more DUMBCON. Let me take a look at the list here. And for our last DUMBCON for the day, I am going after SCP-9597 by user PlaguePJP. I am already mad. I am already upset with what is happening here. 9597, code name Insect Shower. In case you are new to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, Dr. Sherman doesn't like bugs. Dr. Sherman doesn't like spiders. I had to watch the bug episode of Supernatural yesterday. I was not a fan. But here we go. SCP-9597, Level 4 Secret Classification, Containment Class Keter, Dirty, upgrade to a more interesting clean, 1 free rinse, enter your email to confirm compliance, start Insect shower. So is this like when you get a manicure and a pedicure, and very select places have the pedicure that's the tiny fish that nibble the dead skin off of your feet? Is that what this is? I'm familiar with those. Never been to one. I'm expecting something similar, but I'm also expecting something worrying. Special containment procedures currently ongoing. Due to the nature of the anomaly, direct containment is likely impossible. Containment efforts are focused on identifying and containing subjects who fall victim to the anomaly. 9597 denotes a series of texts, online advertisements, email spam, mail spam, and phone calls experienced in reference to the, quote, insect shower. Initial contact is low intensity, but becomes progressively more aggressive over time, including increased frequency, personalization, and persistence after attempts to block or ignore the messages. This escalation is directly correlated with the duration between initial exposure and the affected's compliance in locating the insect shower. Only one individual is affected by 9597 at any given time. Any attempts by the affected individual to change their methods of contact does not disrupt activity from the anomaly, with contact resuming instantaneously. As of documentation, termination of SCP-9597 activity has occurred only under the following conditions. Death, the affected going entirely off-grid and adopting a nomadic lifestyle, the affected individual locating the insect shower. So this is right up there with the indoor sales ban for pushy, hard sell anomalies. The following 9597 communication was lifted from the case of person of interest 5700, codenamed William Vian, age 72, a resident of Scranton, Pennsylvania. There were at least 32 other individuals who were affected by 9597. However, POI 5700 is the first to be intercepted during ongoing communication. While these were tailored for POI 5700, 9597 instances retain consistent hallmarks, including recurrent visual motifs, repeated word choice, and linguistic quirks. You are now subscribed to Insect Shower 2026 newsletter. This was a good decision you made. You may not stop or unsubscribe. Stop. Go. Hello again. This is a courtesy reminder that you still have not used the insect shower. That is okay. It is normal to be shy before your first rinse. 10 out of 5 bathers agree that insect shower will make you feel old forever and answer all your questions, such as what happens to flies. You have taken 3 regular showers since we last spoke. They do not count. They are practice showers. Online advertisements. Local residents are asking one question. What is insect shower? Top 10 reasons you are avoiding insect shower. Number 4 is denial. Tired of being clean in the same old way? Try a new rinse. 250 reasons you should insect shower right now. Yes, right now. Please don't skip ad. Number 21, the centipede likes a long shower. You can do short. 2 hour and 8 minute and 54 seconds sponsored ad for insect shower. Insect shower available right now. Click the link, yes. Get insect shower. You will learn about millipedes and what they really believe. Available in Scranton, Pennsylvania. This is real. Stop ignoring us. Insect shower. Reminder. This is a reminder regarding your subscription preference, which you are subscribed to insect shower. Our systems indicate you have been avoiding the topic of insects in the bathroom. This is a common phase. We call it denial. Please select your preference below to avoid missing the insect shower. Correct answer? This is decoration. No, you cannot click it. It's going to come over here instead. You cannot have the decoration. Only the correct answer. Insect shower appointment. One item from insect shower, except now rinse pending. Order number, take your time, but speed it up a little, please. Thank you. You sad insect shower. Go. My arm is getting tired from holding phone. but this is comical, and I am going to continue to read it. Active investigation. As mentioned, the Foundation intervened during the infection of person of interest 5700, who was subsequently moved to a Foundation safe house for monitoring. 9597 communications persisted and became markedly more personalized. Can I insect you in an interest shower? My pinchers are gloves and your face is hands, William. Today's coupon code is Vion. Rinse. Rinse. You were born with pores. I was born with holes. We can meet halfway. Insect shower! I need you wash you right now, William. These texts were easily tracked from various cell towers across the northeastern United States. Analysis confirmed under normal routing behavior on the receiver's end, but the origin points were inconsistent. Locations included the Cape May Zoo in Cape May, New Jersey, the Trump Tower in New York City, New York, a Planet Fitness in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, a Planet Fitness in Middleton, Rhode Island, Dunkin' Corporate Office in Canton, Massachusetts, a Planet Fitness in Lewiston, Maine, the Fisher Hassenfeld House of the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a Planet Fitness in Middletown, Rhode Island, Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, Home Depot in Secaucus, New Jersey, every Planet Fitness location in Vermont. Plumbing at each location was inspected and no anomalous activity was observed. Where shower facilities were present, controlled test showers were conducted by designated personnel, and no anomalous effects manifested. Agents were subsequently released from the operation. Within hours, this decision was reversed, and all personnel were ordered to redeploy to collect insect samples from each location for screening. All specimens were determined to be non-anomalous. Due to person of interest 5700's increasing agitation regarding his confinement and the lack of usable leads, Site 322 management authorized researchers to initiate contact with 9597 on January 20th, 2026. Oh boy, here we go. My antennae are quivering every day, and it won't stop until you shower in the shower, which is the insect shower! Where do I go? Yes, I want to go. Where do I go? This is good. You go to the insect shower, yes? Question mark? Yes. You are sure? Yes. Insect shower? Question mark? Again, I'm sure. You are making me happy. Where is it? Smiley face. Hello? Smiley face. Me with 2 arrows pointing upward. Where is the shower? Take your time, smiley face. Where is the insect shower? Smiley face. Please. Following this message, all communication between the Foundation and 9597 ceased and could not be reinitiated. At 1800 hours 31 minutes, person of interest 5700 entered his dormitory washroom and did not exit. 2 custodial personnel were dispatched to retrieve 5700, but both subsequently failed to report and could not be contacted. A containment team was then dispatched to the location and took the following image. I don't want to open the image. I don't want to open the image. There's an image, and I don't want to open it. We're going in, guys. I don't like this. Oh, dormitory hallway G12. No. No, dormitory hallway G12. No. Burn dormitory hall G12. Burn it to the ground. It's done for. No survivors. Whoever's left, they're lost to us. They're lost to the insect shower. Oh, no. 2 responding agents were retrieved with serious injuries. Person of interest 5700's bones were recovered following a successful extermination and cleanup. Good! No survivors. Get all the bugs. Person of interest 5700 was not important. Not nearly as important as getting rid of the bugs. I thought I had pointed the camera back here. I did not know you were looking at my scalp. I hope you enjoyed my hair. It's very colorful. The Foundation received one final message from SCP-9597. Smiley face. I have a message for SCP author Plague PJP. I hate everything about this. Why did you write this? I feel strong bad was the correct voice for this. Well done. Yeah, no, there was only one choice there. I mean, I am upvoting it because, as is always the case, Plague PJP does not miss. This is the first live I've attended, and I don't want to miss another. Well, Intern Synapse Man, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, mostly at my expense today. But if you want to make sure not to miss stream, remember we stream every day, but we never know what time. So hit the bell on YouTube so you will be notified when we start. Or if you are old enough to join the Site42 Discord server, because you must be 18 or up, the same as the SCP Wiki or the SCP Wiki's official Discord server. If you are old enough and you join the Discord, you can get a live alert roll for YouTube lives, and I ping that at the start of every stream because it's more reliable than YouTube's subscription bell. God, the voice acting good as fuck in this stream. Well, thank you, Lanny. I did enjoy performing these horrendous monstrosity nightmares. All right. And literally, the prompt was insect shower. Nothing more. So yes, that's exactly what we expect for the prompt, insect shower. You should read SCP-8838. It's short and there are no bugs. Droge, you have sold me. You have sold me that there are no bugs. That's all I need in life right now, is no bugs. 8838, short, no bugs. Wonderful. Written by user Dreadnought Galaxy with a lovely pink overlay here. Even got the little things to be pink instead of red. That's cute. Very cutesy. Very demure. All right. So, special containment procedures for this safe class anomaly, codename Love Under Lamplight. SCP-8838's well-being is currently responsibility of Dr. Krista Aiko. Both reside in an off-site 2-bathroom housing unit close to Site-19. No further action required. 8838 is Dr. Connor Hyland, a Level 1 researcher for Animal Science Division, formerly employed at Site-19. On Valentine's Day of 2026, the second-floor ceiling in the north wing of the facility suddenly collapsed, resulting in 3 casualties. One of the deceased was SCP-8838, though his corpse would remain unidentified for a few hours, as the area was on the opposite side of his workspace. He was interred in the regional cemetery. His body was wholly non-anomalous. On his possession was a box of Ferrero Rocher-branded chocolates, all crushed. Due to secrecy protocol, no individuals were allowed to attend the burial. Through unknown means, 8838's consciousness has been transferred into the vessel of an IKEA brand lamp within Site-19's 4th floor employee lounge. Yep, that is, okay. That is the most, to quote Dr. Hyland, yeah, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Very much so, I'm wondering. 8838 possesses some control over the lamp's body and various functions, as well as limited locomotion via waddling with its base. However, it does require a constant power supply to remain conscious. 8838 possesses complete ignorance as to how or why its consciousness was transferred into a lamp. Despite the lack of any ocular, audio, or vocal orifice, it is capable of sight, hearing, and verbal communication. However, the only individual capable of understanding it is Dr. Krista Aiko, a Level 2 IT technician for Site-19. As Dr. Aiko submitted a request of work leave immediately following the collapse, this remained undiscovered for several hours. Below are video surveillance transcripts taken from across Site-19 detailing the progression of 8838's mental state following resurrection, as well as the actions of Dr. Aiko. Transcripts are divided between manifestation, discovery, and containment, and the transfer process. And there are a lot of transcripts. Are you sure this is short? Dr. Droz, this is clearly not short. You have tricked me. You have bamboozled me. You see, you open the article and you're like, oh man, there's a dude who's a lamp. And you look at the article and you scroll and man, that's a lot of collapsicles. We're not going to worry about those. Look at how short that bar is. That bar is so short. Clearly, this is a short article until you click and you click and you click and you click and you clack and you click and you click and you click and you click and you click. And now it is not short. It is in fact long. It is a long boy. You are all correct to say at least there are no bugs so far. Let us confirm that we weren't lied about the insects. Insect, no. Bug, there's one iteration of the word bug, but the search function for the page is mad, and it is not telling me where it is. Okay, well, I've given you an introduction to SCP-8838. And if you are interested in finding out more about this romance between a researcher and a lamp who used to be a researcher, you can do the rest of the research yourself. Considering there are 30K word articles, yeah, I'd say it's short. Don't you give me, oh, it's relatively short compared to 30K word articles. Short means short. It doesn't mean short in comparison to the long boys. This is a DUMBCON entry, and I'm confused that it's an 8,000, considering I thought the DUMBCONs were 9,000, but hey, one got through the cracks. And my prompt ended up being a researcher who somehow reincarnated as an ordinary object used in the lounge of the Foundation and is at peace with it, where he finds out his crush can communicate to him and wants to marry him despite the circumstances. That is a very specific prompt. Hey, they shouldn't be fraternizing with an anomaly. You're damn right they shouldn't, Amber. Now, it seems at least by the ending, we did allow them to be together, which is nicer than we are to a lot of anomalies when it comes to relationships. So I guess this is a very soft-hearted foundation in this universe. And also, I do require some investigation of you staff members to determine for me if Dr. Krista Aiko is, in fact, a Mothman. Because if not Mothman researcher, why love lamp? This is the hard-hitting science I need you guys to do in the Containment Hazard Assessment team. Thank you for your service. Popping back to the chat. Researcher Selma Beatrice, thank you for your 7 months as a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Guess who's still alive after so many incidents? We are. There's too many. But at least we have survivors. That's better than the UIU. All they have is watching the Survivor television series and praying. Whew. All right, Site 42 staff. We made it to the end of today's stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. But of course, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be cheating. That would be narcissism. We can't have that. But if you want to read the SCPs that I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can see the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines to. And if you want to go one tab over from the SCPs I wrote on my author page, you'll see a list of links. Some links that people are often asking about in the chat, but they just don't have the wherewithal to find. It's a damn shame. But not you guys. You guys, members of the Containment Hazard Assessment team, are intrepid enough, are determined enough to find those links. And while you are at those links, you have the capability to become a Patreon patron or a YouTube channel member to support us monthly. You can do Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chats to donate to us one at a time. Or you can purchase the Reservoir Docs t-shirt. The Reservoir Docs t-shirt available now on the Site 42 section of scpstore.org. And so if you are able to support us financially as a group, then we appreciate that greatly. It is the quickest way to help keep the lights on for myself, Desk, Synth, and the rest of the crew. And if you are unable to donate because you are part of the broke gang, trust me, we do in fact understand starving artists are a thing. We're an arts community after all. But if you are here in the chat commenting, liking the streams, chatting, watching our videos, all of that YouTube business, as well as supporting the SCP projects we shout out, such as the Keter Labs SCP film, Containment Breach the movie, such as Just Alice's SCP animated series, such as Andrea Joshua Asnikar's excellent SCP miniseries, then you are a valued and honored member of Mobile Task Force Psi-42, codename the Signal Boosters. If you want to see the SCP Foundation pull a Markiplier and get a horror movie into theaters, this is the way. And we are proud at Site 42 to be the most shameless promoters of the SCP community. Because we think art rocks, and we like it when people make art. And so thank you guys for your support for the Site 42 project, as well as the SCP community as a whole. Your either financial donations or engagement help us to support the SCP Wiki, as well as its authors and artists, and then the animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, etc. There are so many projects, but we can keep this building over time, and I thank you for your service in helping me to do that. Now, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed, round, 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, Internet and content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Now, Site 42 staff, thank you for another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. We'll see you in the next video or stream. A voice like honey, no one else could fill his shoes. The time and the weather, the headlines and the local news. He lays it down with perfection and grace. Done by noon, he goes home to his place, where he sleeps and he waits for the night. Just before midnight, he gets up, gets out of bed. A can of Red Bull, a tab of X to clear his head. He shoots his cuffs, now he's headed downtown, picks up one life, puts another one down, and his body hums as the music's playing. Dance, Soterius Johnson, dance. It's a cold world nobody understands, the feeling you can't keep inside. Go, Soterius Johnson, go. All the club kids are watching your glow stick glow with the light of a truth you can't hide. That the news is the news, but the dance goes on forever. The credit song is Dance, Soterius Johnson, Dance by Jonathan Colton. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff. And as always, secure, contain, protect.